What's up, guys? I'm gonna give you guys a little short update today. It's been a while since I did one, had a lot going on, but at least I'll give you an update of what's going on with the plants so far. We'll take a look at the outside ones right now. I've got everything transplanted. I know I didn't get to show you guys all that, but you know how to transplant. It's pretty simple. Don't need me to show you. But I'll show you what's transplanted, how things are progressing, and then we'll go in and look at the hydroponic plants, and then that'll be it. Okay, so let's start here. That's a little strawberry plant we're just doing for fun. My son Sebastian likes to eat them, so he's kind of growing that one. But we have right here, and back. Where is it? Right here, this front one. Whoop, there we go. So these three are Aji Cristals. These guys were pretty small up till a couple weeks ago. They just barely started getting some new growth on them after I topped them. As soon as they started getting some, I cut the old big leaves off, and boom, they just kind of exploded. This one's a little slow. He's not going quite as well as the other ones are. That one's taken off pretty tall, and then this one in the grow bag's doing pretty good. He's about a foot tall. That one's about a foot tall. This one's probably only about 8 inches. But they're really interesting. They're not right now because they need some water, but normally with these, I don't know if it's just a thing with the Aji Cristal, but the leaves tend to point up all the time. They're looking a little better now. I think it's just maybe because they're just getting a little heavier. They're doing good. Back here is the Oro De Ecuador. Now this, I do the praxis method, and earlier today I cut a branch off that was blocking the whole canopy, which I don't want. I want sun to get down into the lower leaves, air to get through there better. So I chopped that off. It's heartbreaking, I know, because you're cutting off a big branch, and but it had to be done. Had to be done. Here is my white Bhut. This one had a little transplant shock. It was one of the only ones that did. Some leaves are just kind of coming back now. Right in here, there's some new growth. But it's kind of stalled. I'm not really sure. We'll have to just see. So back here is the Aji Lemon Drop. It's looking good. It's nice and big. Got some branches on it going all over the place. This one doesn't have any flowers or buds on it yet. Actually, none of these do. Here we have the chocolate boots. This one's looking real nice. The one back there is looking good as well. He's a little thinner, not quite as bushy, but he's still looking good. Here is my Jamaican hot chocolate. So I've got that one and that one. They're both doing really well. They're about that big, about the size of my hand. They're probably 10 inches or so at the highest point. At least this one is. That one's a little bit smaller. And just to show you guys, this is how I do my labeling. So my cups were labeled. So I just kind of cut them up, stick them in there. That's just one of my ways of doing things. Here is my Fatalii. He's a slow grower. He's made some progress from when I transplanted him, but he's not grown as much as some of the Ajis. I don't know if it's just a thing with Ajis, but they have really took off. They've grown quite a bit more than all the others. I know Super Hots, are a little bit slower than others, but they're going. Back here is the red Savina. Now this one is topped. It's not got the new growth that's coming in right there from where it was topped. I left some of the big leaves on. I'm kind of doing an experiment with that one. But you guys know that was like one of my late ones that I couldn't get to germinate. Finally got it to, and I mean it's real big. I mean it's probably 10 inches. But over here, this I got at Walmart. It's a bonnet plant, golden cayenne. I didn't have any cayennes growing, so I just grabbed one. It was like $2, so it's doing good. It has some buds on it. It had a lot of buds on it when it was a lot smaller, but I got rid of them. I didn't want it to flower yet. It was way too small, and I topped it. Back here, that's the mini bell. The mini bell has lots of little buds coming up, flowers. Here's the Bahamian Goats, doing real well. That one's a little bit bigger than this one. This one's a little small. It's got some buds on it, but I'm just gonna let it go and see what happens. That one's got some buds on it too. Here's some some of my wife's tomato plants that she's got going. They're in some smaller pots, which is why the cages are upside down, which kind of works out nice. They just sit on the ground. But back here, MOA Scotch Bonnet, They're really nice. They're actually a lot bigger than what you think. The soil's kind of shallow, but they're looking real good. There's no buds on those yet. That's nice. Well, actually, I lied. That one's got some. That one does not. Let's see. Here is the Kumra Cherry. It's nice and tall. No buds on that, but it's looking nice and dark green. Here's the Moruga Scorpions. Now, okay, so if you guys remember what happened to my Reapers with the weird leaf problem, okay, I could never really find anything online that looked like that at all. And I've had a whole bunch of people comment on this and that and blah blah blah, which I appreciate all the comments and suggestions, but all my plants are taken care of the exact same way, and only the Reapers did it. Well, when I transplanted these Moruga Scorpions, and you can see they're kind of coming back now, they did the same thing after they got transplanted. Exact same thing. And the Reapers and the Moruga Scorpions were from the same seed company. The only two from that specific company, which I won't name any names, but they had the same problem. So I'm thinking maybe it was a seed issue, but I just tried some different things slowly, one at a time, to see if I could maybe figure out what was happening. I don't know how, but Epsom salt, mag sulfate, fixed them. It completely went away after I did a high dose of magnesium. That's not really too normal for magnesium to just have massive brown spots in the bottom with no yellowing really, but it did. Or at least that's what I think fixed them. But they're coming back now, which, hey, I'm glad for. Here's my Anaheim. It had a lot of big pods on it, which I took off. But this thing is getting flowers are everywhere on this. I mean, there's 50, 60 flowers throughout the whole thing. Here's my jalapeno. It's the Aztec one. So it's got some flowers coming up on it. The black jalapeno, which is actually really big. It's split off really nice. It's got some flowers that are gonna come up there. I don't know if you can tell, but they're purple, which is pretty cool. I'm excited. Okay, and here's my Bisbas pepper. It's got tons of pods on it. I mean, and they're doing quite well. Some of these, let's see if I can find some of the bigger ones. Some of these pods are pretty big. I mean, there's some long ones on here. Some of them are kind of curled, some are straight. There's a pretty big one. Now, I actually did a review on this pepper on my other plant because it's the only one that had pods at the time. I deleted the review for anybody that saw it. It was not correct. The pods that came off my kind of scraggly plant were really wrinkly, they were kind of soft, and they had absolutely no heat at all. They were heatless, completely a zero. So I just thought maybe that's how they were. I couldn't find anything online about them. So when this plant got peppers and they turned red, I was actually just sitting outside one day, grabbed one and ate it. I was kind of shocked when they are really hot. They're hot enough to give me hiccups. So I'll have to do a new review on these when they turn red and I've got some ripe ones. But they are quite hot. They're pretty sweet. I really enjoyed them. And I don't know if you guys remember my orange hob back in the first video, and it was like the size of my palm. Now, I mean, this guy is he's huge. I mean, he's got to be 3.5 feet across. Completely covers the pot. Now, I did the praxis method on him. He had a lot growing into the center, which I cut a really big branch off. Didn't have any pods or buds or anything on it, so it really wasn't that heartbreaking. But I did it, and as soon as I did, this thing just exploded with new growth. It got so much wider, bushier. Now there's tons of flowers on it. You can see there's one right there. I actually lifted it up and held it upside down in the light. Well, I mean, I was under it. And there's got to be 100 buds on there. I mean, 100 easy underneath in there. You can see them, but I'm excited for that one. And my really scraggly reapers. Look at that. They are coming back. I thought they were, they were alive, but I didn't think they were really going to do much of anything the rest of the season. But, they're big. They're doing quite well from what they were. Even my little tiny one, looking good. Now, the really wrinkly leaf one, it passed. So I got rid of it. So I had 6, now I have 5, but that's okay because they're all coming back. They're all looking good. This one and a couple of these really big leaves, they're starting to come up. This one, it's doing well, but it's got small leaves. I guess they'll get some bigger ones or they'll grow, one of the two. But let's see here. So you can see where all of them are. Right here up against this wall, they get about 16 hours of sun a day. So that's where they kind of sit. So yeah, we'll go in and take a look at the hydroponic plants now, and then that'll be it. Alright guys, so here in the tent, remember the little tiny Oro De Ecuador that I put in to my homemade kratky? Boom! I mean, it's huge. And, let me get down here. It has pods all through there, everywhere you look. There's just the bigger ones. Pods, I mean, everywhere. You can see them, and they're all different stages. There's small ones, big ones. I mean, they're everywhere. And there's even flowers on here. There we go. The ones that are coming up. The biggest one so far is about that. One thing I did do is I changed out my solution, lowered my calcium, and raised my magnesium for the flowering and pod phase. And one of my white boots, I don't know what happened to it. It literally almost died. It just was in its cup and looked terrible all of a sudden one day. So I thought, well, I'm going to take it out, put it in a hydroponic. So it's in a little Tide thing, which is awesome. Again, a little self-made neck cup out of a cup. But he's doing good. He came back. I mean, he was literally maybe 2 leaves on the whole plant. But he's coming back now. And looking better than he was. And maybe not. I thought there were some pods on there. Or not pods, sorry, but buds. Oh yeah, there's a little bud right there. I'll probably get rid of those. I don't want that thing to pod yet. That's that. So I finally got my Thai sun peppers to germinate. I dumped every last seed that I had into the wet paper towel method. Two germinated, which I put into 2 of these cups. One of them just shriveled up and died. In the same, actually no, they were in the same cup. The same cup. One of them just died. The other one, he did okay, did really good. And they were only in here like 2 days from when they sprouted, and that happened. So I kind of experimented with the other one And I put it in a little pot and took it outside to see if maybe it could just grow from the sun from the beginning, since it really hadn't seen much light in here, just about a day or two. It did quite good for 2 weeks. Never died, but it didn't grow. It just kind of stayed the way it was. Came out today, this morning, checked on it, and it had shriveled and died. Pulled it out. Nothing more than the taproot still. Don't really know what that was about, but yeah. But anyway, there's that. And that's going to be it for this update. Again, like, comment, subscribe. I love talking to you guys, hearing what you think is going on with some of my sad pepper plants. Most of them are doing really good now, so hopefully they'll be good for the rest of the season. But the next update, I'll show you some of the different things I do as far as pest control, get rid of aphids and whatnot, and a few of the other things I do with fertilization and whatnot. So, alright guys, until next time.